Hey, be careful with those crates. Great work.
Didn't I request no more fertilizer shipments be brought on board? Who keeps ordering these?
Issuing sanitation ticket. Error! Refill printer paper.
Got it. His name is Reginald Cheney, and he joined a sublight salvage crew. Only he's not listed on the return manifest. Must have made landfall somewhere he wasn't supposed to. Ah, yes. Here. There's a domicile on Monarch in Fallbrook, rented to the same bit card he used to buy his seat on the salvage ship. I should have guessed. What better place to lay low if you wish to avoid the authorities? Oh, it's nothing. I suppose I really didn't have much faith in actually finding him. Was a bit of a long shot, wasn't it? I admit it was a bit of a long shot, but when you've spent as many hours as I have in contemplation of the universe's secrets, you sometimes get a sense for these things. As always, I am at your disposal. Anything you'd like to discuss?
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? May luck be with We have successfully arrived at Phineas's orbital lab, Captain, and we are still in one piece. Shall I congratulate myself, or would you like to do the honors? Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? Goodbye.
Hey, Captain. I got a thing I want to ask you. It's kind of big. I was thinking about what you said before, after we went to the Lost Hope on the Groundbreaker. I reckon you're right. I think I'm ready to stop fretting and fussing and ask Junlei to go steady, straight out. I was kind of hoping you'd offer. The thing is, I can't ask her over like this. I mean, look at me. I'm all covered in engine grease and I ain't showered in nigh on a week. Smell like sweat most days and, well, don't look too close at my fingernails. I was thinking, hoping, we could stop by Groundbreaker for bath supplies. I mean, only if you're not busy. Or when you're heading through Groundbreaker for something else. You don't gotta change plans on account of me. Anyhow, next time we dock in Groundbreaker, let me know. 'Cause I want to come with. You think I could hire myself out to ships in...
I'll lock up behind you.
Hello? Can you hear me? Does this work? Oh, damn it! Blast, that's loud. I'm just securing my ongoing experiments. And securing myself. Mind the mess. I haven't had a visitor since, in fact, I've never had a visitor. That's my communications terminal. Aha! I see you found my portable molecular compression device, better known as a shrink ray. Find a target, point, shoot. Your target will shrink down into a manageable size, whereupon you may commence beating them to a pulp. Feel free to try it on a marauder sometime. make excellent test subjects. Also surprisingly nutritious.
Did you bring me anything? New parts? Last weekend's crossword puzzle? Preferably not already filled out this time.
Something on your mind?
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? As you wish, Captain. What part of the colony would you... Where in Terra 2? Edgewater is the sparkling county seat of Emerald Vale. Or it was when first built. The town is near the coordinates where Captain Hawthorne died. You mean the ones who did not answer my distress call with medical assistance, but instead came to issue my injured captain a parking ticket? I'm sure they are wonderful humans who don't deserve to be wiped out by starvation or a devastating plague. Since you diverted power to the deserters, the botanical lab is thriving. However, Emerald Vale's cannery shut down, leading to a total collapse of Edgewater's population. Thank you, Captain. How can I be of assistance? I request you do not wake me if I am sleeping upon your return. Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regular...
Rizzo's Purple Berry Crunch, Tripical Flakes, and Purple Berry Flavored.
Gracious. I was just sitting down for tea. I think I got just the thing, my dear. A few years back, Auntie Cleo's put out a home makeover kit, and I snagged a couple for myself. High-grade shampoo and conditioner, scrubby brush. Most folk don't got the time, or bathtubs for such, me included. I'll let you have one on clearance. You want rosish, mock apple and cinnamon, or refurbished ship? It comes down to what sort of intent you got. If I was looking to do a spy job over in engineering, I'd be safe with refurbished ship. Now, if I was a young thing trying to come on all precious-like, I'd probably go with rosish. But if I was doing it for my own self, I'd pick mock apples and cinnamon. I'll just wrap that up for you, since it's for a special occasion. It's almost time for today's episode of The Chairman. Sure do, sweetheart. I just need the bits. Fair point. You tell that young lady I said good luck, and I'll consider the two of us square. Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me.
Rizzo's lemon. Family tonight.
This is Halcyon News. We interrupt.
Rizzo's lemon. Drink vodka. Aftertaste the rainbow.
If you're here for this week's magazine club meeting, you're a touch late. Straight to the point, eh? All right then, on you go. Anytime, sweetheart. You know where to find me. It's almost time for today's episode of The Chairman's Children. I found a handsome ceramic mandapillar at a salvage auction last week.
Pick up any more strays while you were out? I suppose if the crew's quarters fill up, we could hang hammocks in the cargo hold.
Something busted, Captain? Oh, let me see. Oh, mock apples and cinnamon? Oh, it smells like a warm kitchen. Like coming home on a fall evening. You're the best, Captain. In her messages, Junlei said her mama used to make this dish for Monarch. Dustback casserole. Salt tuna and xenogold needle mushrooms. And then for dessert, there's a thing called, sweetheart cake. There's gotta be some place in Stellar Bay that can bake a casserole. And I heard tell there's a Rizzo's town near there called Cascadia, what specializes in sweets. Thanks, Captain. I know I'm asking an awful lot, but I'm sure it's gonna be worth it.
interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story.
Rizzo's mock apple cider. C&P Borstworth. It's not the worst, but the
Advertisement for the following story. Tossball finals are scheduled.
Rizzo's purple berry fudge. You can do it.
interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the following story. Do you have what it takes to defend your corporate from the dangers of alien wildlife and the unemployed? Talk to your local manager about applying for military training and lend your life to protecting our wonderful brands and products. Military service does not guarantee full employment rights, tax breaks, military discount, health benefits, military burials. This is Halcyon News. We interrupt your regularly scheduled advertisement for the...
Sam, I must confess, I have...
Scanning for C.
Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you... Where in Monarch? Ah, Monarch. The armpit of the Halcyon system. Her last functioning port town is Stellar Bay. Well, that is if you don't count Sublight's smuggler's port at Fallbrook. I believe it has something to do with the planet being an uninhabitable wilderness and a lawless land with... You may wish to... It's Sublight run for the purpose of shipping contraband, and before you ask, I don't know the coordinates, so I can't dock us there. I believe it has... You may wish to survey the residents in Stellar Bay for additional data points. Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss? How can I be of assistance? Take care. Destination reached. Scylla.
Loose particles detected. Vacuum them up.
Can't walk 5 meters without stubbing your toe in a loose rock here.
Oh,
Nice hit!
One order of frickin' fan coming up.
Sometimes violence is the only way! We were destined.
What was that?
Mega!
The strong survive and the weak perish.
Sterling is this unit's middle name. Protected. Sensors indicate a decaying body in the area.
Stay safe out there.
Loose particles detected. Vacuum them up.
Get about 5 meters without stubbing your toe on a loose rock here.
Take out the trash.
May the law have mercy on you. I won't.
Centrifuge mode activated.
Nice one, Captain. Go! Stand down! Captain, you're right. Captain, you're wounded. Get up!
Sanitization incoming. Substance resistant to cleaning efforts. In passive mode.
outlaw. You know, you didn't have to shoot me down if you wanted an autograph.
Shut up now, and you might get out of this alive. Can we hurry this up? I want that ship gutted before the primals find it.
May the law have mercy on you. I won't.
All germs and contaminants be neutralized.
Tremendous work, friend. Here I was readying a daring maneuver, and you've come and saved me the trouble.
Symptoms detected. Elevated heart rate, dilated pupils, increased sweat production.
I'm not terrified, you bucket of bolts. That's victory sweat. The one and only. Wait, who's asking? Wanda didn't send you, did she? I wager she told you to say that, the sly old bird. I swear, land on Groundbreaker even a moment tardy, and that busybody... You tell her these automechs are coming, and sending a hired stooge to rescue me from certain peril only furthers my delay. No offense. Meds, I'm guessing. Pirates love bits, and unlabeled meds are worth a bundle. Supposed to be for the Groundbreaker, but getting shot tends to hinder one's delivery plans. Hey, who you calling bootleg? I'll have you know these are 100% genuine stolen drugs. Because the board, in all their herpetological wisdom, will only sell the meds at a huge market. Groundbreaker knows better than to pay board prices. Not when they've got not a damned one. I'm a free man. There isn't a... Well, I've got some repairs to do. Thankfully, I'm as skilled a mechanic as I am a violence resolution expert. Then, to the Groundbreaker. Better late than never, I say. Unless you're very late. Then you might consider defaulting and skipping station. You saved me the cost of ammunition. Thanks, pal.
Didn't I request no more fertilizer shipments be brought on board? Who keeps ordering these? Message from Dr. Wells. He'd like to congratulate you on finding a route to Monarch.
Cascadia is utterly seething with dangerous, highly aggressive creatures. You'd have to be a lunatic to land in Cascadia, and I'm reasonably certain I tested your brain for incipient sun. You'll need to speak with Hiram Blythe. He's known as the information broker, and for good reason. If anyone knows where I can find those chemicals, it's Hiram. I need those chemicals to revive the Hope's colonists. They can help us fight back against the Board. If we don't put a stop to the Board, they're going to... You'll want to hire the services of a skilled guide. I recommend a hunter by the name of Nyoka. Frequents the drinking establishment. Once you have everything you need, come see me in my lab. I'll answer any... Best of luck.
Captain, an unusual wavelength is coming through Monarch's 8...
The Eternal is in us all. The OSI would have you believe. A man who works in the mines of Hephaestus, coating his lungs in mercury dust. When he dies young, coughing up black blood, his part in the grand plan...
That was unexpected and odd. Analyzing the subtextual ordering, of course. What... Ah, yes. The outlaw scientist known as Dr. Phineas V. Wells has taken a measure, even knowing the location. My sister, may luck be with...
Let's go. Living is overrated anyway. Don't mess with us! back, Captain. Never anger a man of the cloth.
Well, well, Dr. Fenhill. It's not often I see you on this side of sickbay.
I make it a point not to get shot, and when I do, I can usually take care of the mess myself.
It'd be nice to have you in here patching people up, not just blowing them apart.
I respect what you're doing here, but you know I'm not ready to settle down. It's not you, it's me.
Have it your way then. You always do. Now, about your friend here. Were I a gambling woman, I'd wager you're responsible for my mechanical safe return. I can't thank you enough. Keep hanging around and I'll begin to think you're here for me. What can I do for you? You have yourself a day then.
Rizzo's Purple Berry Fudge, a soft sour candy shell aroma.
It's almost time for today's episode of The Chairman's Children. Care to listen with me? Fantastic. Do be careful with it, dear, as these keys tend to be a tad hard to acquire. You should have a chat with Lilia Hagen in the Sublight offices. She's a tear. You'll love her. Now, was there anything else? I found a handsome ceramic mandapillar at a salvage auction last week.
legitimate smuggling business. You reckon we can shop here, or is it all spoken for?
C&P Forceworth is up first.
Terra-fried spratwurst. Batter. You know what sprats are? Space rats. The laboratories of... Sprat meat is plenty tasty when properly prepared. We grind them up in sauce? Absolutely not. Spratwurst, and all related terms, are... Boar. Terra-frying is a Spacer's Choice brand secret. A mix of 13 herbs and spices, plus a dash of modern chemistry. Legally? No. The terra-frying method was developed and between you, me, and this grinder, I've been through lean times. If there's one thing you might be that this old space ham just as well, long as you don't mind me. Just as well.
What's going on with you lately? You seem down.
Board patrol.
C&P Boar's Pockets can be macrowaved in 2.5...
Welcome to Sublight Salvage and Shipping, a legitimate business for... You the one flying the unreliable? Sure you are. Miss Lily has been expecting you. I'll unlock the door. Hey, Doc Fenhill. Glad to see you ain't moved on from Groundbreaker yet.
Hey, Tobias. How's the leg?
Good as you left it, ma'am. Still bends and everything. Took some extra lead while I was on a job. Ellie here. The other guy thought his ship was perfectly operational. I told him it was salvage. We disagreed?
Workplace hazards, Captain. Pretty routine around here.
Sure am. A few years back, they got me started on simple acquisitions. You know those latches they put on cargo bays ain't worth a damn? These days, I stick to HQ and look after Miss Lilia.
So you're the new captain in town. I was hoping you'd make your way to my office. Saves me the work of hunting. Lilia Hagen, CEO and Executive Director of Aggressive Operations. I'm guessing you already know about Sublight, otherwise you wouldn't have come. A little advice. Before you start telling lies, get a feel for who you're talking to. It's nice to see the Unreliable again. Useful ship. Hawthorne was my contractor. I'd recognize that leaky boat of his anywhere. Is Ada still at the helm? I don't know how many times I told Hawthorne to restore that smartass to factory settings. I have a salvage job for someone light on corporate ties with a reliable set of wings, but there's a catch.
Wouldn't be much fun without one.
If you have a nav key to Stellar Bay, the job's yours. Interested? First, an embargo that's been active ever since the board pulled its forces off-world. Few regulations, plenty of... One of my guys in Stellar Bay has a lead on some high-grade salvage, but he went... We arranged a drop at the Saltuna warehouse's loading dock. Find whatever he left there and take it to Fallbrook. My gal Catherine will be expecting you. When the board pulled out of Monarch, they buried or sealed anything they couldn't carry off-world. Apparently, one of Catherine's teams uncovered an abandoned lab with full tanks of... It's exactly 1 million bits per cubic meter. Before you get too excited, the only thing rarer than Alta Vitae gas is a reliable buyer. Dangerous stuff. Acid for the nucleon in your cells. It's no good to anyone outside of a lab.
But it can be a lot of fun, if you don't mind the possibility of rewiring your body on an atomic level.
You and I have different notions of fun, Dr. Fenhill. A few of my contractors run flights in there and out again, working around with the board embargo. We keep the community lubricated with a steady supply of booze and unconventional erotica. Byzantium kids with more money than sense can thank Sublight for their good time. One of my guys filmed a Raptidon grinding on an automech. Didn't end well for anyone, including the cameraman. Now, get going. Catherine will brief you on the details when you check in with her at Fallbrook. One last thing. When you're on the job, keep a pair of eyes in the back of your head. Understood? Don't go looking for anything, except salvage. Just watch out. You'll do fine. Probably nothing to worry.
I ain't worried if you aren't, Captain. Honest.
Watch yourself in Stellar Bay, Captain. My guy in Stellar Bay had a lead. Ask away, contractor. These days, the scrap business all but runs itself. Gives me the time to expand our interests into other sectors, where I can let my hair down. Our field is persuasive acquisitions. Not all of our salvage is abandoned when we find it. Thank you. I work hard to keep it that way. Very. I have this thing about numbers in spreadsheets. I like to think of myself as the Hey, careful with the C word around here. I like to keep things above board, and that kind of talk. Sublight. Ask. I have nothing to hide. I don't be seeing...
Please, would you kindly inform the crew that long chats with Ada are not required every time the captain leaves the ship? Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony? Ah, yes. How can I be of what part of the colony would you? Where in Monarch? Warning. All colonists are urged to There are no people aside from marauders in Cascadia. The local report is that you will very likely die if you leave Cascadia's landing pad. This is one of those times where you say one word but really mean another, isn't it? I suppose you would find an environment like this fun. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony? Ah, yes. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to discuss? Where in Terra 2? Any crew traveling to Roseway will find themselves unofficially in a... Roseway has been removed from all Halcyon charts. And anything I could tell you, I can't tell you, because it's illegal. Here we go. Due to catastrophic financial losses, Redacted reportedly abandoned the town, shutting down 99.2% of all operations. However, there is an unsubstantiated rumor that Redacted, in actuality, continued to secretly develop Redacted products. How very revealing. Why else do humans do anything? I believe the decision was a result of money squabbles. I wish I could say more, but as I previously stated, it is against colony ordinance. How can I be? What part of the colony? Where in Monarch? Ah, Monarch. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony? Where in Monarch? Warning. All colonists are urged to reconsider. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you? Ah, yes. How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony would you like to We're cleared to dock with the Groundbreaker if that's your desired destination. I have filed the required docking forms in triplicate, and fees have been... Of course. What part of the colony would you like to discuss? How can I be of assistance? What part of the colony? How can I be? Certainly, Captain. What would you like to hear? A star walks into a black hole but doesn't seem phased. The black hole then turns to the star and says, I don't think you understand the gravity of this situation. Now playing a Spacer's Choice advertisement jingle. It's not the best choice. My pleasure, Captain. As you wish, Captain. I'll be here. We're now in orbit above Stellar Bay, Captain. Good luck, Captain.
Hey, hold on there. I gotta sign you in. Don't think I've seen you around. That means you must be new to Stellar Bay. You are new here, right? You must have seen those UDL gunships on your way in. There's only 3 of them these days. Still, they tend to scare folk off. You may not have heard, you being new, but Stellar Bay hardly ever gets off-road traffic. Us being cut off, which means I never get to do this part, but I've been practicing, so here goes. On behalf of Monarch Stellar Industries, welcome to Stellar Bay, home of the freshest sal tuna in Halcyon. Please state your name for the records. Swell. There's one for the logs. I'm even gonna give you your own entry code. I'm not supposed to do that. It's against procedure, but Mr. Sanjar isn't so strict about the rules here. Besides, I got a lot of empty entries to fill. We don't get ship traffic in town. Only off-worlders who do make it out here are sublight. And thank the stars for them. Oh, that'll just make Mr. Sanjar's day if you tell him. The board makes up lots of nasty stories about raptidons and cats, but that's all outside our walls. Oh, sure. It makes Stellar Bay sound like a rotten place, but it's not so bad. Get a good breeze going, and the sulfur smell mostly covers up the fishy smell. Anyway, Mr. Sanjar will be mighty pleased to meet you. If you see him over at headquarters... Oh, and if you're headed that way, maybe you could do me a favor? I got this Rizzo's Rangers Tossball poster coming in on the next sublight shipment, signed by the Black Hole himself. Only I haven't heard anything in a while. You think that's Bertie Holcomb, only one of the greatest tossball hackers.
I wonder if he's kin. Dad had family that worked for Rizzo's. I never got to meet them.
Everyone's heard of him, even on Monarch. We still get some of the games. You've been living in a sulfur pit or something? On account of him being the best hacker who ever played, nothing gets by him. He sucks up every ball that comes his way. While Holcomb's had a lot of nicknames over his career. Used to be the tallywhacker on account of what he'd do to the score. Before that, he was the slick stick, because his shots were always so smooth. I swear I'm not. At the start of his career, people called him the hack boss, but no one thought that was very catchy. I couldn't really say, I'm just a fan of the game. But the fancy collector types say the more people see these things, the less valuable they are. And I figure my poster's been passed around. Thanks a bunch! Celia works for Mr. Sanjar in the MSI building.
What are the chances of all the times and places
Got any
we could
news
have been
from the
born?
rest of Halcyon? Yeah.
We're here, light years from Earth, going about our lives.
Well, well. Isn't often we see new folk in Stellar Bay. Enjoy. If you plan on...
I could use a few and tell them myself.
Now what can I do for you? Something else I can do? Anyone who spends any amount of time in this bar is bound to get to know Neo. And I don't mean that unkindly. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Not since Amber Heights. These days we have more leaving than coming. Off to join the bunch of marauders broke into the executive compound, slaughtered everyone. Corporations pulled. I thought everyone knew. Thought it had a fancy ring to it. Name's the first advertising anyone sees after. Nope. But a man can dream. Something else I can do for you? Anyone who spends any amount, and I don't. Anyone who's rid us of as many beasts as you have is entitled to a few drinks. Not since Amber Heights.
And the little bastard's slippery, right? On account of its blood. So it's getting so I can't tell the blood from the mud. But I gotta get in there. Get right in that baby rap's stomach and dig it out. If so much as a drop of stomach acid got on that medallion, shit, I don't know what I'd do. Might be I'd hunt every damn rapt out there. Right. What are you staring? Wait. You ain't from around here. Who are you? Ooh, charmer. Don't get a lot of that around here. Folks mostly grump at me about how I should join the MSI payroll. Nice change of pace. Buy me a drink, will you? Outstanding! What are you doing in Stellar Bay, stranger? Well. Let's get down to brass nuts then, shall we? I'm headed back out there after I sober up. You want a guide sooner than that? You have to get me something to clear my head. Outstanding! Our dispensary here maintains a stock of, well, I don't rightly know what they are. Steroid or... I'm cut off for the month, on account of needing one just about every damn day. But I'm sure you've got your wily ways. Fetch me one and we'll be all set. Well, they work. We got a deal or what? Ah, the charmer. All of the above?
Could I get another advance, Mr. Nandi? I'll note it next to the others, sir. Greetings, and welcome to Monarch Stellar Industries. What can I do for you today?
Or is he not paying you on account of how he tried to fix the thing his own self and busted it even worse, and then said you wasn't fixing it fast enough, so he's docking your wages again? Not that I got any prior experience with such.
Not at all. Mr. Nandi treats us all right and pays us well. I just spent most of my paycheck on Raptidon acid. Laws, no. Sometimes it's canid teeth, or a mantis worm wings. Whatever Sebastian has in stock, really. So I can talk to him, of course. He doesn't get going about much else.
I reckon she's got a little bit of a squish on this fella.
He's sort of the strong, silent type. Unfortunately, my apartment's kind of filling up with his stuff, and some of the neighbors are complaining about the smell. Would you? I'd appreciate that so much. Maybe don't tell him I wanted you to ask, just that you met this really nice lady named Celia, and she seemed... Oh, Mr. Nandi's doing that thing where he breathes through his nose real... He doesn't talk much, but he's got this quiet intensity, you know? Like there's stuff going on inside his head that you have no idea about. Plus, he's got great legs. It's hard to find a man who doesn't skimp on lower body exercises. I know what I'm looking for. You think that's what I'm looking for? You're funny. Not in Stellar Bay. Everyone else who isn't taken either smells like salt tuna or they're my boss. Besides, a man with a good... Sorry, sometimes I get carried...
Celia, didn't I tell you our new statistics based...
That you did.
How can yield improvements of 26.7% not quicken the pulse? How...
You've often posed these very questions.
Clear my schedule. This newcomer has a meeting with me. Celia, will you make a note of that for my self-review? Very generous.
Noted.
But not so generous I can't drive a good bargain. Now, who sent you? Rizzo's, perhaps? Or Auntie Cleo herself? Hiram? Why, he's probably still out at Devil's Peak. Not that he's had the courtesy to notify me, but if you're here for him, I suppose that means you aren't here for Saltuna. Now, there's no need to humor me. I'm used to this.
Seems like you're having a rough time, Mr. Sanjar. Are you doing quite all right?
Oh, don't worry on my account. This is merely the latest in a long line of professional erotic and athletic disappointments. I had hoped that livening up our advertisements with enticing figures would draw the other corporations back to our bosom, but it seems we're back to the drawing board. Thanks to the so-called hazard clause, Monarch has been cut off from the board's resources and protection. We've kept ourselves in business by trading with individual corporations, but given the off-the-books nature of those transactions, such arrangements are precarious. Yes, freedom is a tempting ideal, but a rather costly paramour. I have people to look after. I need to be practical.
That's why Mr. Nandi here has a rather ingenious plan to get MS...
On our terms, mind you. What a charmingly roguish turn of phrase. Allow me to express my thanks at your...
And if our advertising scheme hasn't borne fruit, then perhaps it's time we took matters into our own hands.
It's true, our Celia is an alarmingly competent middle manager. At any other company, she'd be wasted in data entry. The plan she refers to is a two-pronged approach, and the first part involves seeing Stellar Bay properly defended. With a Bolt 52 cartridge, of course. If you can get us what we need to rejoin the board, starting the Bolt 52, we'll be able to be...
And you'll have a powerful ally on the board.
Why, one of the strongest defenses in Halcyon.
Never realized fighting the bureaucracy could be this interesting.
It is quite the rush. In the old arms building southwest of town, which used to be part of Stellar Bay before we had to move our walls in, these days it's overrun with marauders and raptidons. do be careful. I've lost more than a few people to marauders and raptidons out there. Oh, and while you're at it, there should be a terminal in the arms building with some dangerous information. Perhaps you could delete it so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands. What can I do for you? I see. And was his delivery of the MSI authorized greeting up to snuff? Well, that's excellent. I'll see that your feedback makes it into his review. What else can I do for you? Then it's good that I keep such meticulous notes. I've asked myself the same thing many times, especially seeing as the legal mechanisms we employed, not intentionally, though that's... For many years, this planet was home to as many corporations as Terra 2. Back then, it was known as Terra 1. Really? I always thought they were refreshingly straightforward names. After all, the whole point of terraforming was to...
Here, though, the results were mixed.
And as the other corporations began to tally their losses, they decided to pull out. Our leadership at the time certainly wanted to, but there were others of us who saw an opportunity. The chance to improve working hours and conditions, to reform MSI from the ground up. It's humane, but it's also good business sense. Exhausted, sick, and malnourished workers are not productive workers. Even a
I hope you'd treat them nice, whether it was good business or not, Mr. Sanjar. That's what being a community means. Treating people right, because it's the right thing to do.
Like that's what you saw in Edgewater? Come on. People look out for themselves.
A noble thought, Miss Holcomb. Unfortunately, noble thoughts rarely sway board policy. Anyway, we learned of a loophole in the corporate bylaws that would allow MSI to claim ownership of the entire planet once the other... creating the perfect environment for us to enact these new reforms. Oh, well, there were surely other junior executives with more open minds, though none of them had the temperament to handle the paperwork. But I was keeping my tone flat and maintaining eye contact. You weren't supposed to notice I was avoiding the subject.
This is why you've never been good with presentations, sir.
Very well. Many, many years ago, Graham Bryant and I used to be collaborators of sorts. Graham Bryant. He leads a group of extremists out in Amber Heights. But he used to be as much a part of the corporate machinery, indeed, for all the good it did. MSI's then leadership wasn't enthusiastic. They insisted we'd be relocating to Terra 2, along with everyone else. Yes, some of us stayed behind, and as the most senior executive remaining, I ended up in charge of...
Must have pissed off some real big suits to get stuck with that.
On the contrary, I wrote lots of very important reports on behalf of... I moved forward with our planned reforms, as well as our strategy to assume... Yet not long after I renamed it Monarch, the other corporations dislodged us from the board and began an official campaign to paint us as lawless savages. I don't think I realized how far they'd stoop. I do think there's something useful in a governing body like the board. Something that keeps us from anarchy, but I dearly wish it functioned differently. It's a legal provision that gives the board the authority to court...
But wait, what happens to the folks stuck on the wrong side of dangerous?
I'm afraid the welfare of a few hundred people is too minor a figure into the board's risk assessments. Yes, making all of MSI criminals in the board's eyes. Why wouldn't anyone? They own nearly all the resources and infrastructure in Halcyon.
If you can't beat him, might as well join him and reach into their pockets.
To be on the board is to be part of the colonial community, and And being cut off means slow strangulation. Indeed, we've got to if membership on the board can ease our hardships and provide us with all... Besides, I'm hopeful that additional leverage on our part will allow us... I've discovered it's much easier to negotiate from a position of power. And my hope is to maintain the reform. As far as I'm concerned, the less said about... Graham seemed like a reasonable man years ago. And we both agreed that MSI's treatment of its work... I thought reforms would be enough. I didn't What can I do for you?